Hey everyone, Corey from CoreyReviews here. I got 5 titles from Wild Eye Releasing to review, so let's get on to it. Before I get on to the reviews, I just want to thank Wild Eye Releasing for sending me these 5 titles here to review for you guys. I got these a while back ago, but I wanted to be able to watch these in October. October is the perfect time to be watching these type of horror-themed movies, and there's a documentary in here as well. So that gave me enough time to be able to watch these and process them, and to give you guys the best feedback possible. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just go in the order that I watched them in. And so the first one up here is The Perfect House. Now The Perfect House here is directed by Kris Hulbert and Randy Kent. And the film is about a young couple who, they're trying to find the perfect house I think they're about to get married, or maybe they're already married. But they find this house. It's a really nice house. They find it for a really cheap price. They're wondering why it's so cheap. They meet with the realtor, and all of a sudden they start going throughout the house, and they start finding, blood in odd places. They start finding just weird things out of place, and the old furniture is still in the house, and they're wondering what the heck is going on. And so through a series of like 3 separate kind of shorts within the film structure, it goes back and explains why there's blood in this location, why this thing's out of place, why the furniture is still there. Basically what's happening and what is the history of this so-called perfect house. Now this film kind of reminds me of like Silent House meets Saw meets Hostel. It's very weird, it's very strange, and in lots of cases, especially towards the second half of this film, it's quite disturbing. As the film starts off, you're wondering like what's going on, and as the film progresses, you're like, oh, okay, I think I kind of have an understanding. And while the execution is kind of like, okay, that was the easy way out, it does deliver on being creepy and disturbing and just very off-putting. And with all these actual films here on this pile, the acting isn't the greatest, but the concept is what really kind of keeps you intrigued and invested in what's going on screen. Like I said, there was 3 different shorts that happen kind of like interweaved between the main storyline of the main, the young couple trying to, kind of figure out what's going on with this house and deciding if they want to buy it or not. And the first story was alright, but the second 2 are what really got to me. The second one in particular is my favorite, and probably the one that had the best acting involved. And the last one to me was just very strange and disturbing, and I was just kind of like, okay, there was a few times I kind of had to pause. I was like, whoa, I can't believe they're actually going there. But the middle storyline is definitely my favorite. It's very Saw, Hostel-like, very, if you're not a big fan of blood and gore and torture and stuff like that, you probably want to enjoy this. But if you do like those type of horror films, then The Perfect House is definitely one to check out. Again, all these are low-budget films, so you have to kind of know what you're going into. And special feature-wise, with all these films here, Wild Eye Releasing definitely does a hell of a good job with their special features. Pretty surprising that the special features on movies like this have like better special features than stuff like, The Avengers or Man of Steel or movies like that that have very limited special features. But this one, they just go all out. They put everything that they have on the DVD, and it definitely makes it worth your purchase. Special feature wise for The Perfect House is you get a behind the scenes featurette, cast interviews, making of videos, national tour footage, original trailer, Facebook premiere, alternate ending, Q&A sessions, trailers, and more. So that is The Perfect House here. Kind of just go around, and inside you get an insert with the disc. And I love the way that the disc, like the texture of the disc feel, it kind of has like this glossiness to it. It's pretty cool. And so there's, not a recycle case or anything like that. So yeah, that is The Perfect House. Next up here is probably my least favorite of the bunch, but again, another really cool concept, and that is Blood Soaked. The concept, it reminds me of like a Rob Zombie film. Basically, it's about a girl, she's going off to college, she meets this other girl, and the main character, she already has a boyfriend back at home, but they have an open relationship. And so she starts hanging out with this girl, and they fall in love, and all of a sudden she decides, like, I want to be a lesbian now. And so the main character and this girl she falls in love with from college, they go off into the desert, and they run across these 2 really crazy sisters that have a pretty dark history, with their father being like a Nazi, and they kind of grew up in that atmosphere. And on top of that, their father invented like a serum that will pretty much turn anyone into a zombie. I don't want to spoil anything else, but this movie was definitely crazy. It was weird. I mean, on the back here, it just says lesbians versus Nazi zombies. So you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. It's a low budget. It's a very weird film. Some of it's in color, some of it's in black and white. Like I said, it just kind of reminds me of like something like Rob Zombie would have done. Like, like if Rob Zombie just decided that he wanted to make a little short film, just over the summer or something like that, and this would be it. So special feature wise, you get a director's commentary, cast commentary, live audience track from Polygrind 2013, cast video introduction, Two Drunk Girls versus the introduction, trailers, original short film, This Side of Nightmare, and you also get a free song download from Eternal of Wu-Tang Killer Bees. Take you guys around, and then inside again with the nice texture on the disc, and then you get that free song download as well. So again, Wild Eye Releasing definitely killing it in terms of special features. Alright, next up here would probably have to be my favorite of the actual movies, and that is Scream Park. This one just was so much fun. Again, the acting's not the greatest, but the concept is what made it just so much fun. It takes place at a theme park. The theme park is about to close down, and the owner of the theme park decides that, you know what will improve business and will hopefully keep the park open is if we hire two hillbillies to go in there and kill all of the employees. All of a sudden the media would go crazy, and we would be able to keep the place open, and everybody would come and want to be a part of the history of all these people that were killed at the theme park, and then the park would stay open forever and would make so much money. And so yeah, the film takes place over the course of one night as these hillbilly guys are going through and just killing off the employees one by one. And I don't want to spoil anything much else, but this one was definitely a lot of fun, especially if you enjoy films that take place in theme parks or anything like that. So special feature wise, you get a commentary track, bloopers, and trailers. And going around the cover, the inside here. So that is Scream Park. Like I said, definitely probably my favorite of the bunch. And again, maybe the fact that it takes place in an amusement park made it even that much better. Next up here is President Wolfman, directed by Mike Davis. Basically, if you've seen like Kung Pao Enter the Fist, it's very similar to that, how they, just like get like a bunch of footage from like other movies and like news from the past and stuff like that. And they basically just dub over the audio, and they kind of create their own story from there. And basically it's about a president who lost his wife, and now he's raising his only son. And so one day they go hunting, and the president gets bit by like a wolf or something like that. And slowly he starts to turn into a werewolf. And because of this, they have to kind of hide it from the world. And the president, then struggles with his presidency and with, raising his son and all that stuff. But it's more, this one is definitely a comedy. It's not a horror film. It's straight up just absurd comedy. And I will admit, I definitely laughed quite a bit during the film. It does kind of wear thin towards the final act. You're kind of, okay, if this film was kind of cut down maybe about like another 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, it would have been even better. But overall, not too bad. If you're into kind of like horror comedy spoofs, with all the dubbing and everything, kind of like the riff tracks and stuff like that, then I think that you'll enjoy this one. So special feature wise, you get a director's commentary, howling funny short films, outtakes, trailers, music video, and a highlight reel. So here's the front there. Just going around. And then inside, this is definitely the best inside. You get the disc here, but then you get like this cool kind of like Mondo artwork right there as an insert. Really cool looking right there. Like if they made a steelbook for the film, I would hope that would be the artwork because it's really cool looking. So yeah, that is President Wolfman. Alright, and last but not least is Invasion of the Scream Queens, filmed by Donald Farmer. This is the 20th anniversary special edition of the documentary. And this is a documentary of a bunch of like indie horror actresses from, like the 70s, 80s, 90s and stuff. This documentary, I think, released around 91, 92. So it's around that time. If you're a fan of horror films around like between the 70s to the 90s, I think that you'll definitely enjoy this one. And you'll probably also notice a lot of the actresses involved in this documentary. While I like horror films, I'm not too well versed, and especially a lot of older classic or campy or indie smaller horror films like that. But it was definitely very entertaining watching these actresses who, they're not like big names, A-list stars or anything like that. But they're, talking about, the films they've been in, the experiences, the good experiences, the bad experiences, also the type of films that they want to be in and the type of directors that they have worked with and they want to work with. And a lot of clips from weird and obscure horror titles that I've never even heard of. If your favorite genre of film is horror, this is, I think, a must-have in your collection. And the interesting thing, though, is that the DVD is actually like the image quality of the VHS, so you get all the cracking and the sound quality is very VHS-like. It's just, a little improved, especially on my Blu-ray player. But like I said, it was definitely entertaining, and it was really cool to see, how lower budget horror films were made back then, because, you know, low budget then and now are two completely different things. You know, because lower budget then, films would look really cheap and kind of corny, where, you know, low budget today is like Insidious or The Purge, or, you know, Annabelle or something like that. So yeah, if you're a fan of horror and documentaries, definitely give this one a watch. Special feature wise, you get an interview with the director, Donald Farmer, as well as an introduction from the director. You also get deleted interviews, photo gallery, and an excerpt from the out of print Invasion of the Scream Queens book. So here's the front there, the back, and the inside. No insert on this one, but again, the glossy disc, and also no recycle case. So that's good. Alright guys, so those are the titles that Wild Eye Releasing sent me to review. And if anyone from Wild Eye Releasing is watching this, thank you so much for sending me these titles. It was a lot of fun to watch these in October. So I'll have a link down below to their website where you can purchase all of the titles that I talked about in this review, plus many more. And yeah, if you've seen any of these films, let me know your thought of them down below. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy this video, and until next time, Corey from Corey Reviews. See y'all later.